environment problems. So, first of all, the affirmative side is doing this. We got like some system, like developed countries are putting some aid, some money, huge sums of money to these developing countries. Mostly right now, this money are going to fight the poverty. It's got some reason. I tell you why it's got some reason. Because if you're going to fight the poverty, no thanks, you're going to fight the poverty, what happens in the country? Because right now, there are a lot of, no thank you, there are a lot of empowered people. Empowered people don't care about how clean is water, how much emissions produce some factories in this country. Poor people who live under, for example, $1 per day, cares about what are they going to eat. So they're really not solving any problem in this country. So, and if you put this amount, if you put this fortune aid to this, for example, environmental standards, so you will transfer this aid. So there will be no more money fighting poverty. So what will happen, ladies and gentlemen? If you fight poverty, we will, in this case, higher standards of people. So right now, we are going to higher standards of people, not the affirmative thing. Not the affirmative thing. So first of all, I showed you that they are not going to higher standards of people. Maybe they're going to get them clean water, but these people wouldn't have what to eat. So their standards no. So their standards wouldn't be high. So ladies and gentlemen, let's look. I will take you later. So don't try. I will show you that what's going to happen next? If you're fighting poverty, it happens this that people have more money. They got a house, they got what to eat, they got what to drink water. Maybe dirty water, but water. And if they got the water, if they got a house, they can survive. They can think about other things. Like they can think about, is my water clean?
Information.
Yes.
What do you think is more urgent, climate crisis or poverty?
I say both. Because I explain you. This is great. This is great information, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I so good like that. Thank you. So, yeah, if you fight poverty, these people have higher standards. They don't have to care about food. They don't have to care about water. So if they don't have to care about this stuff, they can care, for example, about their government. They can care what the government is doing. They can care. Does the government have some systems how to clean the water? No. So we are going to change the government. So if you fight poverty, you're going to change the government. So they're fighting the problem. We're fighting the solution of the cause of the problem. So no. So now I showed you that if you fight poverty and no right, three left, three left, or three left. Okay, so let's come to the second argument. Second argument is, if you want to fight the climate change, it's not a good way to fight the climate change in developing countries, but in the developed countries. Okay, there was an example how China is the first biggest polluter in the world. But sum up, the whole developed world makes more pollution like China. So therefore, you have to fight. No, thank you. I won't tell anything. So if you have to fight this climate change in your developed countries. So let's put the aid to the fighting poverty and take another sum of money and fight, for example, and create this green power plants in your country, because you're the biggest producer of the pollution and of the emissions. So even if the plan would be successful, and even if they would, for example, emit all emissions in developing countries, the climate change would continue still, because you still didn't solve the biggest polluters in the world, and these are developed countries. Okay, we got thank you. Okay, we got a third argument. It's corruption, ladies and gentlemen. Even if their plan would work, for example, we got not only China. We got also, for example, countries in Africa. We got other countries in South America, like Brazil. So in these other countries, for example, isn't the system like such good like in China, in India, in Brazil, the biggest and the richest country from these developing countries? So, for example, if they put the money to this these environmental standards. And as I said, you have there empowered people who doesn't care about government. So government is powerful. Government can do whatever you want, and you are giving the money to the corrupted government. So the outcome is that this money from corrupted government are not really going to fight any climate change, are not going to clean water, but they are only going to be in the pockets of the politicians mostly. So, and I'd like to react to, for example, I'd like to react to the case of China, for example. There's an example how China is such an impoverished country, ladies and gentlemen. How they are not able to do anything about the climate change. But for example, China has their own space program. They're building a spaceship, ladies and gentlemen. They got so much money that they can build a spaceship, but it's illogical to say from the affirmative side that they're impoverished and they got no money. Maybe no, you cannot. I learned that once. So for example, the China has the best. Is building so much coal power plants. Yeah, it's a problem, but it's building so many coal power plants that the China has really money. So we see that if China can build their own spaceships and I don't know what and fight aliens, so yes, they won't. So in this case, they can, for example, fight the climate change alone, and it's wasting money to fight climate change by own money from developed countries in these countries. Thank you.
Was the prevention of ecological crisis and confidence in safe future. And I will try to convince you that we will achieve it with if we accept the motion. First of all, what our opponents were trying to say, that now the developing countries has a lot of poverty. But dear ladies and gentlemen, they did not give us any example. They did not prove that they really have poverty. They, at first time, they said, yes, they have poverty, and the second time they said they are building spaceships. So what is the reasoning here? Moreover, about life standards. Dear ladies and gentlemen, our team will convince you that the impact of ecological crisis will decrease living standards even more than they are now. Even now we have the harmful consequences of the global climate crisis. It can be, for example, flooding of great areas, the living standards decrease. When leakage of water resources, the living standards decrease. We have natural disasters when millions of people are dying and their homes are... no, thank you. No, thank you. Moreover, when talking about China, they have so many lung diseases because the level of pollution is so high. And one more point... No, thank you. One more point our opponents have said is that developed countries should take care about their emissions. But dear ladies and gentlemen,